This is Bleav, Georgia Dawgs Podcast on the Bleav Podcast Network.
Doesn't it? Or did. Joe Cox with an up and out. Wide open. Touchdown. Israel Troupe.
Snap to Young, drops back, pressure from the edges. He throws near sideline, and it's intercepted. Intercepted. Keely Ringo at the 21. Off he goes. 40, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30 near sideline. Breaks the tackle. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, 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 Georgia.
Good evening, neighborhood. How about them dogs?
32, 18. Let the celebration begin.
All right, welcome in. It's the Bleav in Georgia Dawgs podcast on the Bleav Podcast Network. Coming at you on the video side on Brinks TV, Brinks.tv. You can see that link down in the bottom. Joining me, as always, my main man, Israel Troupe. Israel, what's up, dude?
What's going on, brother?
I like the new background there.
Appreciate it. I like to feel that Jesus is always around me, so I have him behind me today.
I'm gonna say, and you're gonna lie to me and say that you painted it yourself, right?
I did not. I am not the creative mind that did this one.
There you go. So, well, welcome in. It is a pre-President's Day weekend episode. We got a great show lined up for you. You can see on the sidebar. I'm not going to read it to you, but we got lots to talk about. Some concerning things, some fun things, and just some general talk. There was an interesting thing I saw on Twitter that we will discuss. But as always, you can follow us on social media. That's going to be scrolling down the bottom on the bottom for most of the show. So be sure to check that out. We are presented by Betonline.ag. The Super Bowl is over. Football's over. The USFL is coming back. The uniforms just got unveiled today. But basketball's in full steam. College hoops is coming down the home stretch now, getting ready for tournament time. But from all the latest odds, totals, player performance props to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the number one spot for all your sports betting needs. So if you want to get on there and lose a pretty penny like I did, head over to the website, use your mobile device, sign up today, receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code Bleav, that's BLEAV, to get started. And whatever I bet lately, just bet the opposite. I'll be sure to tell you, just bet the opposite. I took Cincinnati. I hit the spread, but I took the under and not the over. And I lost my parlay.
I took the Rams. I took that 4.5, and they won by 3.
Yeah. I hedged my bets and took a Rams money line just in case they won. And for whatever reason, I think I took Rams money line, and I think I still lost that one. But I don't know. It was brutal. I might have to make another deposit. Hopefully they have like a buyback deposit promo code coming up soon.
I know, right? I took all my little coin.
Absolutely. Well, it's the fastest, easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play all your favorite Vegas casino games as well. So BetOnline, it's where the game starts. So if you want to jump back in, jump back in. Who am I to say? But Super Bowl, what'd you think of the game? The commercials, the halftime show, all the above. Israel, I thought it was a great game.
I thought it was a great game. Two very evenly matched offenses. Two really good defenses as well. I thought that when the Rams went up 13-3, I kind of thought it was going to be they were going to run away with it. But I think the Bengals bounced back. It shows you the testicular fortitude of Joe Burrow because he was getting hounded all night. It shows you just how good the receivers are as well. They did really good against the secondary of the Rams. They made Jalen Ramsey, look average. Because we all know that Jalen Ramsey is that dude. And, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, they'd had a really good game against him. So I think all in all, it was a great ball game. Great halftime show, great commercials. I was really excited to see that Jordan Peele is coming out with a new movie. I've loved all his movies. So that's one commercial I was really waiting for to see exactly what this was going to be about. So all in all, it was a great Super Bowl. Matt finally got his chance, brought him back for a victory, and Cooper Kupp is by far one of the best receivers in the league right now, bar none.
Mm-hmm. And Devontae Adams, he agrees with you. He saw that coming, but I thought it was a great game plan by both teams defensively. They both, took advantage of what they're great at, defensive line play and defensive front play. Neither team could really run the ball that much. I thought maybe Cincinnati abandoned the run a little too soon, but when you look at the quarterback plays, they were patient. They took what they could. They played field position all night long. It just so happened that Matthew Stafford made a few more plays, and his experience, his 12 years of Detroit experience showed. All the lumps that he took, all the beatings that he took, the game-winning drives. The guy was one of the best fourth quarter quarterbacks in the league, and he's been that way for most of his career. And it showed. The poise that he had on that final drive. You saw it when they played Tampa. You saw it in the NFC Championship game, and then you saw it in the Super Bowl. When he had to have it, he put a 15-play drive together, scored actually 2 touchdowns. One of them got called back, but threw 2 touchdown passes in that drive. 2 really good passes, 2 really good, I would say, dimes personally. But, they just, again, Sean McVay was protecting his quarterback. He knew the run game wasn't there, but he wasn't going to abandon it. And I thought the Rams played that type of game perfectly.
Most definitely. I think, like you said, I think the Bengals abandoned the run a little bit early because they were actually getting very positive yardage. I think Mixon was doing a good job, getting 3-4 yards on first down. They just kind of got away from it. And I think they put the ball in Burrow's hands a little bit too much, especially when they got the lead. Against a very good defense like the Rams, I think you kind of got to, do what works, do what got you to run the football, mixing in running passes. We know the offensive line wasn't great, but they did a really good job in run blocking.
Yeah.
It's hard to block, Aaron Donald. And they put 3-4 people on him, and he still gets back there. Then you got Leonard Floyd and Von Miller coming at you too.
Yeah,
it's really hard to block those guys up front.
Yeah.
So when you're dropping back, 30, 40 times in a game, you're bound to get sacked a couple of times. I think he got sacked, 8, 9 times, something like that.
He got 7. Yeah. He got. I think it was 7 or 8. Yeah. It's it goes to show you. And the thing I said about this game when previewing it in our last episode was that the Rams could do what the Titans did defensively, and do what the Titans could not do and take advantage of it, and they did. And I think the Bengals, even though you're not running Joe Mixon every time, but screens, long handoffs, things to get the ball on the edge, things to get those guys running laterally, I think could have helped you and really could have gotten you to the point where you do what you do well, which is push the ball down the field vertically. So they didn't give themselves a chance at that. They just tried to push the ball vertically downfield without really any semblance of a run game, and Aaron Donald made him pay. Leonard Floyd made him pay. Von Miller made him pay. So hats off to the Rams. But, I think that the inexperience showed a little bit with the Bengals, and, they had a valiant effort, and they did a lot of good things, but they just came up short. And, this is one of those games you're watching and you're like, man, I just hate that somebody had to lose this game. The final drive came down to a 4th and 1 in Rams territory. Like, they get that 4th and 1, they probably go down and at least kick the field goal to tie it up. Like, they weren't far from that.
Yeah, and I said in our last podcast, I said one thing that the Rams are going to have to do is get Joe Burrow on the ground. And if you notice, if he was able to escape the sack from, I think Darnold got the last one, if he was able to escape that, Jamar Chase is butt naked because he had broken Jalen Ramsey off again, going toward the end zone. So, that game could have flipped again had he been able to get away from that sack, or he had another second, because Jamar Chase was wide open on the sideline.
Yeah, he was. Absolutely was. But Aaron Donald just he couldn't even look at him. Aaron Donald was back there so quick. He didn't have time to even glance up. He had to immediately look at Donald and try to get away. So I don't know that he would have saw him even if he did get away. I think he would have probably just tucked and ran and tried to get the first down. But Yeah, as far as the Rams go offensively, you lose, they lose a couple of receivers, right? They lose, well, they don't lose a couple of receivers. They lose, they lose Higbee, and then they lose Odell Beckham Jr. They still won.
Exactly. That just goes to show that's what maturity does. That's what experience does for you. And I promise you it's not the last time we'll see the Bengals. But I do have this to say. I really hate it for Staff Daddy. He's been going through it since they won the Super Bowl. Everybody's coming at him because everybody's talking about Hall of Fame and all this stuff. And I think Matthew, let me get it right because I don't want Kelly to get mad at me, but let's say Matthew.
Don't piss off Kelly.
Matthew's just happy to win a Super Bowl, happy to get there. He's been taking the beat in Detroit for so long. Just let him enjoy it. He's not talking about Hall of Fame or anything like that, but you know how the media does. They tend to blow everything up, and the incident that happened at the parade.
Yeah.
I hate that for the young lady. I hope she makes a speedy recovery. But just let him enjoy it. Everybody's upset because Aaron Darnold might be retiring. Well, he's done everything he needs to do.
He's not retiring. He said, let's run it back. So they ain't got to worry about that.
And then when you win the Super Bowl, it's like, thank you. I've done one player of the year, Pro Bowls, all that good stuff. Let my body rest for a minute, even if you wanted to. So, everybody just relax. Let these people be great for, the little time that they have.
Yeah. I mean, there's no, everything's so polarizing and reactionary, and let's try to get our views up and all that stuff. I mean, there's no I just feel like, and this is kind of a soapbox I have, but all these shows like First Take with Stephen A. and whoever else they got across the table from nowadays, Skip and Shannon, First Things First, all those shows, all those big pundit shows, I think are starting to turn into caricatures of themselves, and they just live in the overreaction one way or the other. Like Joe Burrow choked or Matthew Stafford Hall of Fame. We're not ready for either of those things. You have to look at this thing with some real glasses on. Like Matthew Stafford, could he be a Hall of Famer? Yeah, absolutely. Are we ready to have that conversation? No, because he's got probably 6, 7, 8 more years left to kind of build his resume. So, I mean, this is a great feather in the cap. Don't get me wrong, but when did we become a society that has to live in the overreaction every single moment?
Man, let's think about this. Let's think about if all these. Can you hear me? Okay, I lost you for a second, but let's just think about all these people who have so much to say. Let's just go back and think if social media and all this stuff was out when they were playing.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp. Let's not forget.
Oh, they would fillet Shannon.
You ain't always been the most nice. Well, let's just say you ain't been the nicest person in the world during your career. And
they would roast Shannon, and I love Shannon. And Shannon, when he's a guest on other people's shows, that's when you get real Shannon. And real Shannon, I love Shannon Sharp.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a brilliant guy. I think he's he's matured a little bit with his opinions. But I think his show with Skip is I just think he's a character now. The character of Shannon Sharp is different from Shannon Sharp. And that's what disappoints me.
It's all about ratings and stuff, and
and
the media, like you said, it's clickbait. See if you can get as many views and things like that.
Yeah, I'll take the marathon route. I don't want to sit here and take the other side of the fence just to take the other side of the fence, just so you and I can get in a screaming match to get ratings. Oh, they hate each other, and then behind the scenes, we're all like, hey, what's up, man? No, I want to be real. Like if I agree with you, I agree with you. If I happen to agree with you with everything you say in a particular episode, great. If I don't, great. But I'm not going to scream at you one way or the other. And we're going to, and if it means that we don't get 1 million views right away, so be it. I'd rather be real.
Yeah, just Corey. No, Corey.
No. Israel, you are wrong, and you are wrong again. Yeah, I just I can't imagine myself living that way. I got better things to do.
Nah, I can't do it.
I can't do it.
It's not worth it. But I'm glad the Rams won it. It's the year of the dog, man. You got Sony, Nick Jones, Thomas Brown, Leonard Floyd, Matt Stafford. All those guys are on the staff of the Rams. So I mean, Thomas Brown might be getting the offensive coordinator gig with the Vikings here. So I mean, it's the year of the dog for sure.
Nice. You better bundle up. It's cold up there. I don't think Minneapolis is your type of city. A little bit too much snow and ice up there for you.
It was a nice 82 degrees today in South Georgia, so I would definitely not be moving anywhere close to snow.
We had 70 degrees, but it was like storming all day long here. We've had nice weather this week.
No deal.
We've had nice weather, but it was we had like a tornado watch today. But commercials. What'd you think of the commercials? I didn't get a chance to watch most of that. I did a lot of cooking. I was managing my ribs and
I'm trying to think. There was one really good one, but I can't remember which one it was.
I might have to go back and watch them all. Honestly,
I can't picture them because I was too much into the game to even think about the commercials. And then by the time I really thought about it, the halftime show was going on. So I mean, that was a great halftime show.
Mm-hmm. It was. 50 Cent. The memes that came out of his appearance were outstanding. 50 Cent is a full $1 now.
Man. And once again, one of my players, we have a group chat, where we communicate with our players. It was like, dang, 50 Cent, that got big. I was like, so have you. Think about it. When you're 20, 30 years, in your career, I promise you won't look the same as you did when you were younger.
No, nobody does. And they none of the kids I've ever coached realize that until they realize it.
Yeah.
You get 38 years old, and next thing you know, your athleticism just falls off a cliff. We had dodgeball students for faculty. I'm thinking we're going to steamroll these kids, and next thing you know, we're walking away with an L. I'm like, oh, what?
You're out there by yourself. You're the Lone Ranger.
Yeah, and oh God, it's like, man, you walk away going, yeah, they just whipped our ass. It happened. They whipped our ass, and they sea walked on us too.
Man,
yeah,
they didn't do the gritty walk on you. They hit the gritty on you all too.
Yeah, they hit the gritty on us. They were talking all sorts of stuff, man. They were talking that junk. Yeah, you better believe it before they leave. We're have to run it back. I don't want to be that dude that said they cheated, but I'm not so sure that they understood the rules too much.
They didn't understand the assignment.
I don't think they understood the assignment, like what happens when you get hit. But I did Mahomes one of the kids where I looked one way and threw the other and drilled him. I did the look to my right, throw to my left.
Those are the best. You can get that one kid that you hate in class, and you finally get to hit him, and it's legal.
Yeah.
So you just beam him in the face.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal.
Those are the best days.
Mm-hmm. And then you get to tell them that they're out, as well.
Yep. Go sit down.
Sit down. Then you have to. It's one of those situations where you have to check yourself before you say something really, really bad. You get a situation where you're like, uh-oh. Okay, I better.
Next thing you know, you've been called into the principal's office.
Yeah.
Mr. Burton, we got a lot of complaints about you. There's a video circulating on the internet right now of you beaming this kid in the face and then
standing over him,
gritty around him.
Yeah, You did the Fortnite teabag dance on him. What is up with that? Yeah, just something like
Yeah.
And
Something
you're cussing him out.
A Gatorade bottle and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, what's up with that? Was that actual beer? Did you pull actual beer out of your pockets? Did you have a kid throw you two beers?
Like a couple of Natty Lights.
Man. Yeah, that looks like a Natty Light can to me. And then he gives you a low 5 on the way out, so yeah. But no, the halftime show was outstanding. Like I've been listening to Dre. I listened to Dre and Snoop for like 2 days straight after that.
You got to. It brings back so many great memories.
Mm-hmm. I remember my sophomore year.
Yeah.
I remember Chronic 2001 came out. My sophomore year of high school.
So long ago.
We were bumping that, man. It was, still Dre. Next episode, just bumping that. Eminem had just came out. I mean, I went as far, and don't laugh, but I went as far as dyeing my hair bleach blonde.
No way.
Yeah, I did. Dyed my hair.
Boy.
Yeah. I was a dumbass 16-year-old.
We're definitely going to have to see pictures of that one day.
I have to dig that up for you. I have to dig it up for you. It's quite comical. Quite comical. And then I thought it looked good, so I went for round 2. Like that's the troubling part. I went for round 2. Yeah. And my parents thought it was okay too. I was like hoping that they would veto it. I think deep down I was hoping they'd veto it, but they didn't. So
they went along with the plan. They understood the assignment.
They did. That was a lesson right there in not picking my own hairstyle. They're like, okay, you want to branch out, pick your own hairstyle? Yeah. So now I've been with this ever since. Good choice.
Nothing wrong with it.
Nothing
You're
wrong.
good.
Nothing wrong with this. Nothing wrong with this. It's all good. So, but yeah, man, the Super Bowl, I had fun. It was a great game. It was fun to watch because I wasn't rooting for anybody in particular except for my bet. I was just hoping that I was shepherding it. I was like, okay, Rams are going to win by 3, so I'm good on the spread. Now just score. Just score 2. I just needed 6 more points. Score.
Mm-hmm.
Just score. I don't know why I took the over. I talked myself into the over. I was under all day long, and then last minute I talked myself into the over, and it just never works. Never. I always talk myself out of the. I know, and I didn't. I failed. I did not understand that assignment. That's for sure. So, Israel. We were on SEC After Dark last night, and all your friends joined in.
The bots.
The Russian bots, yeah, they joined in. They wanted to hear about NordVPN. They wanted to hear about NordVPN. So, what's more important than peace of mind, Israel? Nothing, and that's what NordVPN is here for, to give you peace of mind while you're online. And with all the threats that you face today on the internet, including those Russian bots that come to see you, it's more important than ever to be sure that you have the best VPN you can get. NordVPN is the world's best VPN service, offering the fastest connectivity, the most servers, and next-gen encryption to make sure that everything you do online stays secure. Plus, you can use NordVPN on all of your computers and devices, no matter the operating system. With NordVPN's unlimited bandwidth, you never have to worry about a slow connection either. And plans start at under $4 per month. So grab your exclusive. Here's what you're going to do. So you're going to grab your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/Bleav, or just use the code Bleav. That's BLEAV to get up to 70% off on your NordVPN plan, plus 1 additional month for free. It also carries Nord's risk-free 30-day money-back guarantee. So you're in a lot of good shape there with NordVPN. So check them out. and tell him that Israel and his friends, the Russians, sent you there. Now
they just keep coming back.
They do. They just love them some Israel. They're big fans. You know, you're big in Russia apparently. I don't know what it is, but you are. You're big in Russia. I guess they heard you like vodka. You like vodka? I don't even know if you like vodka.
Not really.
You're not a vodka guy?
Nah.
They're going to be disappointed about that. Yeah, they're going to be disappointed. I'll wait till we tell them on Beast of the East on Monday. How about that?
Right.
So basketball. What?
Oh, geez.
Yeah. What's up with basketball? He took an ass kicking last night or 2 nights ago. Yeah, no, last night. LSU. Oof, it was gross. It was gross, man. I think it's pretty obvious that we've checked out, but like we've really checked out. Right?
Yeah, I think everybody's kind of checked out. It's getting worse. And the bad thing about it is that we have to finish the season. Watching, I think there's 4 or 5 more games left for the tournament, something like that. Yeah,
I just don't think I can do it. My stomach's turning just talking about this one.
I mean, it's going to be bad, but I think it's going to be a relief as well, kind of when everything shakes out. So, I hate it for Coach Crean. I hate it for those guys, but it's going to happen, and I hope we can get somebody in that can kind of rectify everything that's been going on.
Yeah, I mean, 26 turnovers.
Oh, that's bad.
26 turnovers. That's horrible.
It's basically like you're just giving it to the other player, like, here you go, I don't even want it anymore. Like it's my hot potato.
It's almost like every third possession you're just coughing it up or throwing it out of bounds or whatever. I don't know, man. Like, and of course, you don't want Coach Crean to get fired. You don't ever want anybody to get fired. That's not the goal here. The goal is to find the right fit. And do I think Tom Crean is a good coach? Yes, I do. Mm-hmm. Do I think he's right for Georgia? Absolutely not. It's not working here. They're not buying his message. I don't know that this program ever really bought in. This is a tough gig in and of itself. To take over the Georgia men's basketball program is a really tough gig because of the apathy that surrounds the program, which is kind of sad to say. But, you think somebody like Anthony Edwards coming into the program would have been like the spark plug that would have turned this whole thing around, and it didn't. And I think deep down people want a really good basketball program, but is it just because we're used to losing? I can't put my finger on it really.
I think the old regime is just, all right, it's basketball. We always knew the women's basketball team was always good, so all the resources and everything like that kind of went toward them, which I understand. Yeah. But I think now that my boy Josh Brooks is there, I think he's kind of putting a stamp on everything. Every sport's going to be elite. He's around Kirby Smart every day, so he wants everything to be elite. Everything's going to be at a standard of what Georgia should be. Right. SEC is not just the walking dog of the league anymore. Right. The SEC is becoming a dominant league. You got the Auburn's, the Tennessees, the Vandy's, have come a long way. Kentucky, who's won a couple national championships. This is not a league that, you just run through all the time. It's not just the Big Ten ACC anymore.
No, it's not.
The SEC is coming along, so I know you got to compete with that. So the days of being mediocre are over. So I think the next coach that comes in has to understand that, yes, you have a tough job, but understand this. The SEC is where you want to be. And you're in the mecca of basketball. You're going to be, 45 minutes from Atlanta. Yeah. You got Milton, you have Cedar Grove, you have all the schools in Atlanta that play basketball. Those guys play at South Gwinnett, where Mercer, and Lou Will came from. You have all those guys, that they ball 365. So if you can't keep those guys in state, like football's doing, like baseball's doing, women's basketball's doing, and pull a couple of out-of-state players, some of their players as well, then this job's not for you. It's going to be tough, for that first or second year. But by the third year, we should be rolling, I feel like.
Yeah, all you got to, honestly, the formula is there. Every other program around us has shown us the formula. We're just too damn stubborn to figure it out, man. You recruit Atlanta, get you 3 studs out of Atlanta every year, and then fill the rest with transfer portal and role players. You get 3 studs out of Atlanta every year, you're going to be a great program. Just get 3. That's all you need. You don't need to get 25 like football. Get 3. That's all you need. 3. Get a guy that's 6'11", 7 foot, and physical. Get a shooter and a point guard.
Exactly.
All you need. And then fill the other spots with get you a sharpshooter as a role player, and get you a rebounder, get you a rodman, and you'll be all right. You can find you can sign 5 kids. Sign 5 kids every year, 3 studs from Atlanta, two diamonds in the rough that are just gritty and very specific skills. And that will help you win basketball games.
Exactly. Because, I look at Auburn. I look at what Bruce Pearl was able to do by year 3. They're ranked number 1. They're going to make a nice little run here in the tournament. If they don't get knocked out the first day like everybody else. It's the culture of basketball at Georgia right now. It was there when you was there. When you were there, it was there when I was there. Basketball really hasn't been, counted on. Just take that back. Men's basketball hasn't really been counted on. So like I said, the women's side has always been really good. But I think it's time. I think Josh Brooks is ready for it. So I think it's going to be. When this season's over with, I think they're going to do a national search. I think, in my opinion, I saw a poll the other day. Terrence Evans put it out of who should be the new coach. I think they should get one of these guys from the NBA, one of these young coaches from there. Because I know we can pay him. So get him to come in. Because not only does that look good, but he also has ties to the NBA, which I'm pretty sure every kid wants to go to.
That's what you want.
To play basketball. So get a guy like that, young guy that's hungry, that's going to come in and recruit, that's going to come and do it the right way. Got to create a culture of basketball that we have people jumping up and down, in segment. So I think it's just the culture of basketball just needs to change. They have to bring a guy in, young, energetic guy. I'm all about, you hear this all the time with football. They want a proven winner or a proven guy with experience, things like that. But sometimes that doesn't work because, you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
No, you can't.
So you bring a young guy in that can relate to these kids, get on their level, bring a good support staff in with him because the head coach is only as good as his assistant. So you got to do things that cater to the new generation, and that's social media, that is, music, that is, coaches coming in the locker room dancing, things like that. Look at Coach Williams at North Carolina, Coach K. There's a reason why they were able to be so successful. Not only did they transform with the times, but they also brought guys in, that could help them do that. So that's what Georgia has to do, and I think that's what they're going to do. Absolutely.
And that's the recipe right there. The fact of the matter is this, Israel. No, it really is. That's you've got to figure out how to tap into not only the recruiting. You have to figure out a way to tap into the student body, the boosters. And you got to get some excitement around the program, not just with recruits, but on your own campus too. You've got to get a crowd there. You've got to create an atmosphere like they have now at Auburn, which was not always there. the same passion and atmosphere that you have at Rupp Arena. Why is Rupp Arena so difficult to play at? It's a tough environment because passionate fans, right? Cameron Indoor Stadium, it looks like the end of a random building. It doesn't even look, it's not even like some iconic looking arena. It looks like it's just attached to the end of a building, and you wouldn't even know it unless you like ran smack into the sign.
Mm-hmm.
But you walk in, and the students are right there on top of you, and they're intelligent and they're rowdy, and they have their own signature thing where they jump up and down the whole time, and they have their own signature chants and things like that. They have built a culture there at Duke for basketball. Carolina, the same way. They've got their own deal. The Dean Dome, like, it's a tough place to play because they've made it that way. The Stegosaurus ain't a tough place to play.
Stegosaurus is just slow and moving until the girls come and play.
Exactly. So you have to figure out a way, and I think Josh Brooks will do a tremendous job in that regard. I mean, just watching from what I see on TV, it seems like the atmosphere on our end, or I say our end, but on the administration's end, looks like they're trying to improve it and make it something, but just the product on the court's just not there.
Yeah, I mean, they're putting the money into the facilities and all that stuff, which is great, but you need money to keep all that stuff up. So
you do,
and with that, you need fans. I mean, look at Bruce Pearl is at the football game with his shirt off. Yep. I mean, come on. I mean, Carson comes in into the gym and the place goes crazy. It's little things like that, that just makes basketball. If you don't, basketball, to me, I'm a football guy. And, to me, unless it's jumping and people are excited, basketball is boring to me. Just to be honest, because I'm a football guy, but when there's people jumping up and, a game at Cameron Indoor State would be amazing. Just because the fans.
That's why I watched Duke games. That's why I used to watch Duke games. I would watch Duke games just to watch the atmosphere. I don't care about Duke. I'm not a Duke fan. I mean, they made it fun to watch, and I was like, I like watching Duke home games. Yeah,
you watch our games, it's like everybody sitting down.
Yeah,
no spike squad.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to have stuff that's unique to basketball too. Like, you can't try the same stuff that you do at football at every sporting event. You got to have stuff that's unique, and we don't have that either. We got to have something. Got to have something.
So got to be exciting.
It's got to be exciting.
It just got exciting, and it's boring. And you get your eyes beat in.
Yeah.
Until the girls play, and then now there's excitement.
Now they're doing the beating.
Because Coach Taylor is gotten girls rolling.
She does. She's handling her business. She is. I mean, I actually, and I was on the phone with a friend of mine, and I had just gotten home and turned the TV on, and the women were playing at LSU. Unfortunately, I think we ended up losing that game. So I'm not going to watch another girls game just because I don't want to jinx them. I don't want to be bad luck. But I happened to turn it on, and I told my friend, I was like, "Yeah, here's where I am on Georgia basketball. I actually voluntarily turned on the women's game. I did not do the same for the men's game. Mm-hmm. That tells you, like, to get somebody that doesn't really like basketball too much. I'll admit I struggle liking basketball because of where basketball is right now. I think it's too soft. I think the sport has gotten a little soft. And to watch the girls, we had a girl, I can't remember who it was at this point. I think it was our point guard. She got a technical because she got the hell knocked out of her, and she got up and was like pissed about it, like on a rampage. And like, you see the energy and the passion, the grit, and just like they play with so much more toughness, it seems like. Yeah. Relatively speaking, I should say. But they play with so much toughness, so much more fire. Like, you watch Jenna Stady score a basket. She's excited about it. Their teammates are excited for her. And the way they work the ball around, you can tell they're well coached. You can tell they have chemistry. You can tell they enjoy actually playing together, and they've actually played together before. Like, that's what watching a UGA women's game looks like. That's what it looks like. That's what basketball should be. Passion, energy, cohesiveness, and acting like you guys have played together before, acting like y'all have played together. It goes a long way.
And
like,
we don't
there's
see that on the men's side.
You don't. I don't have these lofty standards. I actually enjoyed watching a little bit of Auburn basketball. I think they play that way. I think Kentucky plays that way, although they kind of struggled against Tennessee. Tennessee had that was a long time coming. Tennessee was ready for that game. But those are the type of things that I like to see. Like Tennessee, Kentucky truly hate each other. Those are fun to watch because they play that way. Nobody hates Georgia basketball because it's really relevant. So I don't know. Maybe I should join with Vinny and be a Kentucky fan. I don't know. Nah, I'm not going to do that. So that's where I stand. And if that means moving on from Tom Crean, I mean, at some point, it's business, and he's not getting his business done. So you got to move on.
He's got about 2 more weeks left, and it's going to be holla holla.
They're going to change the playbook on him.
Yeah.
So it's just not there. You go and hire somebody from the NBA and let's go. Let's go. I mean, honestly, whoever comes in is going to have to make their own energy. That's just the way it's got. That's just the way it's got to be. It's not going to be an established person. Let's just go ahead and wrap our mind around that. It's not going to be an established person. I just don't think we're there yet. But it's going to be somebody somebody young. They're going to be hungry, and I think they're going to be able to create inroads to Atlanta.
Yeah, that's what we're going to have to do.
That's all we need.
That's how you're going to win basketball games at UGA. You got to get some kids from Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get some country boys from down here where I'm at. Because we actually play really good basketball down here as well. And then, like you said, still a couple of guys from the portal. And then you got to build a culture there that people want to come to. That
and stay. Because it's also the horse manure that the 2 best players in our conference were on Georgia's roster last year.
Yeah.
That's where I was. That's the first point that I was done with Tom Crean. When the 2 top performers in the conference were on your roster last year and you lost them, that was a no for me.
Yeah, he's on borrowed time now. He's got about 2 weeks left.
Yeah, and in about 2 weeks, I will. Well, let's just get through these 2 weeks. I'll catch up on Jack Reacher on Amazon Prime, or I'm watching Trojan War on ESPN Plus.
No.
I will get ready. I'm gonna get geared up for this USFL draft.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. I can't wait to see that.
Oh, we got football coming. It's exciting. So, have you heard anything about the new DB's coach?
I have not. I haven't heard of a leak or anything.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything either. Like I think ultimately it's going to be Zach Etheridge. I hope it is.
I thought we were going to get Zach Etheridge, but he came out with a big highlight video deal with him saying, "Let's run it back with Auburn." So I don't know if we're going to get him.
Yeah, they're still working on him.
I was hoping that we would definitely get him, but we shall see. I think that's my top pick. I think the guy from Clemson, I think, is my second pick right now.
How about this guy? Look up this guy, Roddy on Dawg that was brought this name up. Fran Brown from Rutgers.
Fran Brown.
He spent time at Temple and Baylor. Yeah, he's been at Temple. He's been at Baylor.
Let me see.
Rutgers is paying him now.
Oh yeah, I know who that is. Yeah.
What do you think of that? What do you think of that?
I think it'd be a good one. Like I said, Etheridge is my number one choice there, simply from a recruiting standpoint. I think he'd maybe relate to the kid really well. Just because I know him personally. So he would definitely be my first choice. But, I just want a guy that can come in and, keep what we got going. I think we got a very talented room, very talented group of kids. We got Ringo coming back, Alan Green picked up some, recruiting as well.
Yeah.
So I think we just got to bring a guy that can come in and keep those guys together. Bringing a guy like B-Mac in is going to keep that receiver room together.
Yeah, so absolutely.
Whoever you hire is going to have to be strong and, a great player manager, because we know DBs and receivers are the two toughest positions to coach on a football team.
Yes, they are. Y'all are divas.
We are.
Y'all are divas. If I'm putting it mildly.
Very mildly.
Yes. Oh man, some of my worst nightmares at Hillwood are diva wide receivers. But
we are very moody. You just never know what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm. And everybody, I don't know if you get this at Monroe, but everybody wants to be a receiver. Everybody. Yeah. And they take playing O-line, D-line as a punishment. You want me to there's some kids, and I'm 1,000,000% honest when I say this. I'm not even exaggerating. Like, hey, he's just saying this for the camera. This is not real. No, for real. We have kids. I had a kid that would rather be a fourth-string tight end than the first-string center.
Wow.
I told him, I was like, you're going to be fourth at best at tight end. Like, these three guys I know for a fact are better than you, faster than you, can catch better than you. But you're big and you got really good hand-eye coordination and you can actually snap the football.
Mm-hmm. Something that could really help us.
And he ended up quitting because he wasn't going to play tight end. Because he wasn't going to play tight end. Like, and he didn't want to play like hand in the dirt tight end. He wanted to play like Kyle Pitts type tight end.
Nah, brother.
On his bench. What you gonna do? You're gonna be over here watching the game with me. It's like, and I told him, I asked him point blank. I said, "Now you're telling me, okay? I want to get this right. You're telling me you would rather be fourth string. You don't want to be in the 11." And then I had to pause. I just looked at him. I just gave him a blank look. Like, I was like, "Can I?" I was like, "Really?"
Yeah.
That like disappointed. Like, okay, suit yourself. So I found another center, and we were fine. But yeah, what can you do, right?
Tatum Kelly Troupe. If he is bigger than any other kid, his hand would be in the dirt. Point blank period. I don't want to hear no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah.
Daddy, I want to play quarterback. No, you don't, son. You're going to play guard. I'm sorry, but that's what you're going to do.
Yeah, you're a good guard. Like I don't understand like where and why and how because even football is becoming a pretty sport. People are wanting to make it a pretty sport. Like, basketball is a pretty sport. That's why everybody plays it. It's a pretty sport, Everybody can shoot. Everyone's shooting threes, and there's no you get breathed on wrong and it's a foul. It's just a pretty sport, right? Football's not pretty, and people try to make it pretty, and you can't. You can't. It will never be a pretty sport. It'll always be a really difficult, it'll really be hard sport. It's outside, you're in the elements, it's raining, or it's cold, or it's like 1,000,000 degrees, and you're wearing 13 pounds of equipment. You're always going to be uncomfortable. I could sit here and list a mile long of all the bad crap that you have to deal with.
Yeah.
But
Like
to me,
707.
but to me, the list of cool stuff that you get to deal with is even longer. Like, I mean, what sport, what activity besides boxing and hockey can you legally knock the ever-living crap out of somebody and not get in trouble for it? Get praised for it. Actually, football.
Exactly. Not your literally in handcuffs. And you get to do it repeatedly.
Yeah.
Not just one time, many times.
I mean, I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. I mean, it's this little 7-on-7 culture, which, I mean, 7-on-7 is fun. It has its place, but it's not real football. And these 7-on-7 people
I saw a thing today about
aren't football people.
Deion Sanders saying that I have never looked at a kid 7-on-7 and wanted to offer a kid a scholarship. I don't.
No.
That's what I tell our kids all the time. I was like, 7-on-7 is great for exposure. I think it is. I think it's great to, work your craft and everything, but you can do that by running track. I'm not going to knock 7-on-7 because I think it's good for quarterbacks, receivers to throw, DBs, and linebackers to get work.
It is a tool, not the tool.
You anywhere because you have to play football.
Yeah. It is a tool in your toolbox. It is not the main tool. It is not the main tool.
Yeah.
It is a tool. It is an effective tool. It's a helpful tool. But it's not the one and only tool it's not the universal tool. It's not I'm going to go out. Oh, Bama offered me because I played in this elite 7-on-7 tournament in Knoxville. No. But what can happen is, hey, I played in this elite 7-on-7 tournament in Knoxville. I became stronger. I became faster. I became more technically sound so that when I do play in my first game or when I do camp at Alabama, I will stand out more, and then they will offer me. That's how that works.
Ding, ding, ding.
That's how that works.
And
I'm charging next time for this.
And
time.
like you said,
Yeah.
a lot of 7-on-7 coaches aren't real coaches. So, I mean, what's the
They're
point?
not football people. The thing you get out of 7-on-7 when you play for these organizations is you really just work on your individual skill. I mean, that's what I see.
Mm-hmm.
When you do it with your team, you build chemistry, your quarterback builds decision-making, things like that. But it's not real football. It's not real. They're not real concepts. And there's always, you go to you take your team to a 7-on-7 tournament, and there's three types of people. Okay. There's the person that we're going to do what we do no matter what. We're just going to, we just understand that we're a running team and we're just going to run the ball. We're not going to do well at this thing, but we're going to come here and we're just going to do what we do. There's a person, then there's I'm going to invent a whole new offense just so I can win this tournament because I think that's the most important thing in the world. And then there's the cat in the middle that's like, okay, I understand that we're a certain team, but there's some concepts I want to test out. So I might test a couple things out in this tournament, see kind of how they work. I'm going to try to develop my passing game. That's me too. Like I developed a few years ago when we kind of, at the school I'm at, you kind of have these once every 3 or 4 year windows where you get you get a batch of really good players. And this particular season, it was my second year in the program, and we had our entire skill unit coming back. Our entire starting skill unit returned. They were all juniors the year before. They all returned as seniors. So I had that second year with them. And we had tried some things out scheme-wise. I mean, we went from spread to gun wing tee, back to spread. Like we were all kind of all over the place because, I came in, I was like, okay, I want to do certain things. And then my head coach kind of took over. I guess because things were going south and we hadn't really developed that. We weren't really there yet as coworkers or as my head coach and his offense coordinator. So he kind of took things over and said, hey, I want to do gun wing tee. So I said, obviously, I wasn't thrilled about it, but I was like, okay, whatever. And I think he had another coach in his ear, like trying to get him to do that. This was not the head coach that I work for currently. This is the one previous to that. I've worked for 2 head coaches since I've been at Hillwood. And then halfway through that season, he kind of realized that it wasn't me that was the problem. We were just really young. We were just really inexperienced. And our senior class had like 2 people that were worth the damn. And everybody else was just terrible. And just not trying. I mean, stuff like that. They were just apathetic. So we roll into the next season, and I'm like, I want to simplify what we do, but I want to go fast. So where I started really trying that? 7-on-7. That it worked. It clicked in 7-on-7. We beat teams that we should have never even had a chance against. Granted in 7-on-7, but it got their confidence up because we were going fast. They were communicating really well. They were doing really well between possessions and they developed some chemistry along the way. And they already had some chemistry because they played together all the previous season. And I thought statistically we ended the season on a high note. Had our defense been able to stop somebody, we got in a lot of shootouts that year. And because we didn't have a lot of depth, we ended up on the wrong end of a lot of those shootouts, unfortunately. But statistically, we were one of the best teams, and statistically, we were one of the best offenses in the state of Tennessee that year. But statistically, we were one of the worst defenses in the state of Tennessee that year. So the 2 didn't really jive together. But that's the place that 7-on-7 had for that particular team. Then the next year, head coach leaves. I applied, didn't get it, but I stayed on board because I like what I do in the building. And that coach, we don't do any 7-on-7 that year. And we didn't really develop any chemistry in the passing game. We did some good things. We were able to complete vertical routes. That was about the only thing we could complete. And then, the next season we were really good in the passing game. And then this past season, we were just terrible all around because we were so young. But I think it has its place. I think it has its place. I don't know where I was going with all that, but I think it has its place.
Yeah, that's something I was looking at our next, the future of football, and I think people are thinking that 7-on-7 is the future of football, and it's not.
Mm-hmm. It's not.
The whole deal, what does football look like in 10 years? Mm-hmm. I think football's still going to be football. I think the outside aspect of the world is what's going to change football. These NILs, coaches snitching on one another, a lot of boosters and things getting involved with this whole recruiting deal. I think that's going to be the telltale of football. I'm all for, college players getting paid. I mean, SEC made $777 million, something like that, last year. So obviously they ain't hurting for money. So if a kid can get paid, pay the kid. I do think it does, give a little undue influence. If a school can pay a little bit more than that, but at the same time, the school's not paying for it. It's an outside source.
Right.
who has the better NIL deals. So I think, but at the same
I think
time,
that Israel. I think that what does that do for boosters though?
Yeah, I don't think boosters is going to be any good anymore after a while. Because there's only so much you can pay, but these top-notch companies can pay whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Football in 10 years is going to look the same, but I think it's going to be a little bit more entertaining from the simple fact that every kid is going to be wanting to play a little bit harder so they can get an NIL. Now, I could be wrong, but I think if it's me, and I'm in high school right now, I'm trying to ball out so I can go to, Texas A&M where they're handing out millions of dollars apparently, for me to come to their school.
Now, be careful, Jimbo's going to come after you now.
Hey man, Jimbo just need to quit snitching on other people. He's been doing this since FSU. Let's not play
Let's not get it twisted. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Even Nick Saban's not even playing that. He's just more so on the fact that, at what point, are we recruiting the player or is the NIL recruiting the player? In which I can understand that. That makes a lot more sense than saying that, hey, these people are playing these people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's going to be like that. There's going to be a handful of players that come and go because of NIL, and there's going to be players that come because they want to play at Georgia or they want to play it wherever. And it's just that just is what it's going to be. And I think if you know that, if you have foresight into knowing that, I think you can plan a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Make some stuff in College Station that's fun. People want to go to Alabama and Georgia because it's fun. Tuscaloosa is apparently, I've never been to Tuscaloosa, but apparently it's fun.
Apparently very similar to Athens, yeah. Auburn's a lot of fun. Ole Miss is a lot of fun. There's a reason why they've killed it in the transfer portal. And it ain't all Lane Kiffin. I promise you. You. Springtime in Oxford is
really nice.
I imagine. Yeah.
I've been to Ole Miss before. It's real fun. Mm-hmm. I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. And go to a place where your head coach is not doing weird dances.
Yeah.
That's also a plus. That's also a
plus.
But
I think they love Brian Kelly and his weirdness. It's crazy because they're at the bottom tier recruiting, and
they've embraced it, I guess.
He has. He came in and had a really good recruiting class.
Yeah, I think it's worth noting. I think it's fun to have fun to hit their expense like that. But if you want an objective kind of look into it, he's doing a tremendous job. He's doing a great job down there. And I think he will. He's a good coach. He's not, and I think ultimately he's made some good hires, and I think you'll start to kind of see it. Maybe not right away, but LSU is such an enigma at this moment. We don't know exactly what they're going to do and what anyone can do for that program, much less Brian Kelly. But I think there's somebody who was able to win 10 games a year at a place like Notre Dame where you can't recruit because it's nearly, you can't hardly get anybody qualified. Yeah, you can't hardly get anybody in school there. And he had to resort to like getting guys like Chase Claypool, who I'm not sure that Chase Claypool was a huge blue chip name coming out of high school, but obviously he's well thought of in the NFL. Outside of his clock management skills, but he's been really successful in the NFL in his brief stint so far because he was developed. It's not just signing the talent; it's developing them. And yeah, if you get a few 3-star guys, it's great. It's all fine and dandy. But those are the guys that make and break you. It's not the 5 stars. It's the 3 stars that you develop into 5 stars, like the Eric Stokes. Like that's what builds the championship culture at a place like Georgia. Mm-hmm. Is the guys like Eric Stokes. who weren't highly touted coming out of high school, but they develop. He was a first rounder, and he's killing it with Green Bay. Like, that's the kind of thing that makes you buy into somebody like Kirby Smart. Alabama, 5 stars are going to produce, but it's the ones that weren't 5 stars, that were borderline 3-4 stars, like that range of player. It's getting those guys to produce, and even then it's not perfect, but that's what makes these successful teams successful. That's the future. You got it. There's going to be some guys that you're going to be left with that you got to develop because of the transfer portal, because of NIL. I worry about junior colleges and the kids that can't qualify out of high school, like the transfer portal and NIL. Like, what is it going to do to them? Are colleges going to have to be Division II schools and FCS schools and even Division III schools? Are they going to have to bend? Like, I know Division III schools are really tough to get into.
Yes.
But are they going to have to kind of bend so that these kids have places to go? Is D3 going to kind of turn into almost a JUCO type football?
I think if the D2s and D3s and NAIs don't bend right now, I think they're going to lose out a lot. Because if it's me, and I can't get into, the Power 5 school or anything like that. If I can't go D1, I'm going to JUCO, but I'm automatically going D1. You're not going to be able to get those kids, who can be recruited again out of JUCO unless you bend a little bit. So I think it's time for the D2s and lower to, kind of readjust, their thinking on life and figure out, one, how to get some money, and two, how are we going to appeal to these kids who are signing these big NIL deals. I mean, you go D2. I mean, Valdosta State is, right down the road. And I mean, they're getting kids left and right, because
they're national
championship.
They're a national championship program. They do things right down there.
Exactly. And they're getting kids. They've changed their whole thinking on life so they can get those kids.
And I've been impressed with West Florida. They're a young program that down there in Pensacola. They've done a tremendous job. But there was a friend of mine that was coaching there for a little while. I think he's now kicking around in the Northeast somewhere. I think he's at one of those Catholic schools in Wisconsin now as defense coordinator. But his name's Riley Swanson. Shout out to Riley Swanson if you're listening. But he was at West Florida for a couple of years, and they made a semifinal run. Ended up losing, I think, but they made a semifinal run. And I think it was just like second or third year of having a football program. So there's some good football out there. And I encourage some of these kids to look at the D2 level because, I think with the transfer portal and having so many people in it right now that haven't landed yet, I think FCS is going to benefit. I think it's going to be a higher level of football. And I think even Division II, I think the trickle-down effect of the transfer portal, I think is going to benefit your FCS and your D2 schools. I'm kind of worried what's going to happen with NIA. I don't know I don't know long term what's going to happen there. With their, I mean, there's some good football in NAIA, but I just, I don't know what their money structure is like, with their scholarship structures like and stuff like that. So I'm kind of curious. I'd be willing to kind of keep my eyes peeled on that. But, the way we recruit at Hillwood, I think that NAIA and D3 are schools that I really are more keen on because that's where our kids usually end up. But so I think the trickle-down effect is going to be the biggest thing. And you're going to see a lot better quality football across the board because you're going to be giving more people opportunities. You're going to give D2 schools more opportunities to get D1 kids that they didn't think they'd ever get because when they hit the transfer portal, like there's nowhere for them to go. So
sure. It's got to get fixed. Otherwise, what's the point of going out and recruiting if we're just going to hit transfer portal?
Yeah. And I think the coaching staff structure is also going to drastically change. I think where schools had huge recruiting staffs off the field, now I think your recruiting staffs are going to be on the field, and your X's and O guys are going to be off the field because obviously you're going to have, obviously those on the field coaches got to be good at both, but they're going to be. I think the average age of your on the field staff is going to go way down.
Yeah.
Because you need your strong recruiters because those guys can go out on the road. And you're going to have these old heads come filling these analyst roles where all they have to do is sit back and scheme and then recruit when the recruits come on campus. So I think you're going to see almost a flip in what's happening, which is going to be interesting. And you're going to see, and it's going to happen. And it kind of sort of happened with Will Muschamp. Like you're going to see somebody get promoted from an analyst role to a coordinator role.
Well, I think Will Muschamp's the oldest on-field staffer we got.
Mm-hmm. And he's
at this particular moment in time.
And he's like 2 years older than Kirby.
Yeah.
He's not even 50 years old. That's pretty crazy. So I think you got to look at it like that too. I think that's interesting, and you're going to have it's going to really kind of look like an NFL structure when it comes to coaching and personnel departments. Like you're going to have your off the field recruiting personnel, like people that focus on high school personnel, setting up camps and all that stuff. But you're also going to how in the NFL they have pro personnel department, pro scouting, and college scouting. You're going to have kind of something like that in college now. So you're going to have a director of college scouting in college where they scout other colleges. Like they have territories. It's going to be very much of an NFL scouting model pretty soon. And it's a good model. It really is. But you're going to have somebody that has their ear to the ground in a certain area, every college, from NAIA to Power 5.
Mm-hmm.
Their job is to know what's going on. And their job is to, as soon as somebody hits the portal from their area, they are there. They are on the phone with them. So the NCAA is going to have to kind of modify some of its rules here pretty soon.
Yeah. They're either going to modify it or, people are going to find a way to get around it. So we might as well go and make it easy for everybody.
Exactly. So, but Israel, we've been, we're like that toy that you wind up and you just let go. And then all of a sudden it's like 3 hours later and we're still going. But we're going to kind of wrap it up right there. We're going to, it's been a fun show, man. I think, talking a little bit of basketball, I think trying to find some solutions there, talking future of football and 7-on-7s and camps and, how everything's going to look, I think is important. And I didn't know you had actually partnered with the MVP camp circuit. So that's pretty cool. I saw that on Twitter just, minutes ago when I was trying to look for something that you had retweeted before that I can't seem to find. But, so I'm happy for you there. I'm proud of you there. I mean, you're getting your name out there, man. It's exciting.
Hey man, I'm just trying to grow this platform. Chad Simmons, that crew, they're big, and during my recruiting with 24/7, they're still big in that whole deal. So Rusty Manziel, who's a part of the Georgia High School Hall of Fame now.
Yeah.
As of today, they're doing some really good things. So I've been blessed to be able to work these camps and work their all-star games and stuff. So just trying to make it, as they would say.
Yeah, and you're doing a tremendous job of that. But all of you out there, our Facebook page is actually the biggest thing that's blowing up right now. Like we're creeping up there towards 1,000 likes on our Facebook page. So keep that up. We get a bunch of new likes every day, so that's exciting. I thought that would be the last platform that built up, but apparently that's the one. So
All the actual podcast people actually get on Facebook.
I know,
you
right?
know, the younger generation, we're all Twitter and everything like that. So
TikTok and Snapchat. So we gotta find a way. I say this all the time, but eventually my old ass is gonna bring us to TikTok. So, but subscribe, comment, find us wherever we are. Follow us. Give us some feedback. Download the show. Download the audio version of the show. Click on our YouTube channel. Check it out. There's a lot of other great content on our YouTube channel that we echo. So, that we also partner with y'all's conference network on some content. Beast of the East with me and Vinny and Israel. SEC After Dark with me and Stephen Willis and Jake Thomas from Tide Talk and Jeb Beecham. We pair Vinny's show up on there, the DGD podcast. This is a very non-compete, like, kind of family deal. We're not, you're going to get your content, like you're going to get it on our channel. So, and if you want to broaden your horizons, Bleav in Georgia Dawgs is the channel that you want to go to, because we carry it all, man. That we're a full service channel, but the bread and the butter is right here with Israel and I. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment, make sure you give us some likes and follow us and stay on board, because this ride is just now taking off. So as we move forward with the USFL draft, you and I are going to pick teams. We're going to determine who we're going to root for in the USFL season that starts. I think it cranks up in April, so that'll be fun. We gear up towards the NFL Combine, NFL Draft. We'll also obviously follow that, because there's a bunch of Georgia Bulldogs in the upcoming draft, so we'll follow that. We'll follow baseball a little bit. We'll continue to wrap up and cover basketball. We do it all here, and we're excited to bring you all the great content on a weekly basis. And we're slowly building it, but we're going to start giving you some smaller things, some smaller nuggets throughout the week, just to kind of keep you satiated for the main event, for the main course. So, but we are the Bleav in Georgia Dawgs podcast. We are presented by Betonline.ag. We are coming at you on Brinks TV as well. Brinks.tv. Check it out. Check out the other shows they got there as well. So, for Israel, I'm Corey Burton. We thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here next week on the Bleav in Georgia Dawgs podcast, presented by Betonline.ag and Brinks TV. Good night.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. This is Bleav in Georgia Dawgs Podcast on the Bleav Podcast Network.